Welcome to Doc's Daily Dose for Dads, prescribed by Dr. Harrison. You know, something interesting caught my eye the other day. It happened twice, once with my youngest and one with my middle son. The first time was I accidentally stepped on my youngest son's toe, and he was like, Daddy, you stepped on my toe. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay, Daddy. Don't worry about it. The next one was with my middle one. He had something laying around, but I was just cleaning and getting stuff done, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I just kind of swept it up, and he was like, wait, that's my stuff. And I was like, oh, my bad. I wasn't even paying attention. And he was like, it's okay, Daddy. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Here, thank you. And then he went off and ran off and went to play. And I stopped and thought to myself, wow, first off, the younger they are, if you've taught them to speak up for themselves, if you've taught them to let people know when they feel wronged, they'll tell you, and they'll tell you immediately. Now, stepping on a toe, throwing something away by accident isn't a, big deal in the grand scheme of things of being wronged. But for them, it's a pretty big deal. It's in their world in the moment. I mean, what else is a 3-year-old going to feel wronged about, or a 5-year-old going to feel wronged about? So that was the first thing that kind of caught my eye, is the level of honesty and the bravery and courage in which they'll step up to say, hey, you've done me wrong. I deserve an apology here, or at least acknowledgement of what's happened. The second thing I thought of was, wow, with that apology, it was immediately okay. And they vocalized that. It's okay, Daddy. Don't worry. They just wanted to be recognized in that moment that they were done wrong. And I sat back and I thought about this because it all happened within a span of like an hour and a half of each other. So it kind of sparked my interest. And as I was sitting down thinking about it, there's two things that came to mind. Well, three. One is obviously teaching your kids to speak up for themselves, but I want to talk about that on a different day because I think that's a totally different topic. But the other two things were, the first one is your kids love you tremendously. And they are so forgiving. There's nothing you could really do to wrong them. They will always forgive you. You even see it in cases of extreme outliers of parents doing horrible things. Kids will still say, it's okay, I love you. Right? Now, obviously, I'm not saying I condone anything of that extreme, but it's just to prove the point that they're so forgiving and so considerate. And you should not take advantage of that. Recognize how much they love you. Recognize the unconditional love for you. Recognize their willingness to be forgiving and considerate, and how much you need to make sure that you're not taking that for granted, that you're not abusing that you're not taking advantage of that. So think about all the things you're doing. If you're having to say I'm sorry repeatedly for big things that you're doing, not showing up for this, not being around for that, doing wrong by their mom or doing wrong by them, take a step back and look at what you're doing. Because you know what ends up happening? It creates a certain type of person with a certain type of history later on that is going to show up in all of their relationships. Imagine if your kid from the very young age is always hearing apologies for big things, little things, medium things, but constantly being apologized to for your mess ups. And they're always forgiving, always saying it's okay. Imagine what that does to their spirit. Imagine what that does to their behavior. Imagine now they're 25, 30 years old and they're in a relationship. Don't you think that person who may be walking all over them, who doesn't deserve them, is going to end up keeping them because they stay considerate and forgiving? Or you can have the flip end where if they hear it too much, they become numb to it. It doesn't mean anything anymore. So now they don't give anybody a second chance. Or maybe even they become the person who's always breaking promises or always doing something to make people, to make people feel like they've been wronged, and they're the ones who have to end up apologizing. So be careful of that. You're creating and shaping their future by what you do now. The other part of that was interesting to me was I thought to myself, wow, there's a lot of times where I'm not very tolerant of certain people or certain behavior. I'm not very considerate of certain things. And I could learn a lot from the boys. I could learn that if I do feel wrong, don't bottle it up, don't get extra mad and then unleash it on other people or unleash it on that person. Tell them right there in the moment, hey, I didn't really like that. I'm not with that. Bring it up right then and there. Also, if they apologize, accept their apology and move forward. I'm not saying you need to be best friends with them. I'm not saying you need to go out and buy them drinks or go have lunch with them. But think about your kids. They accept the apology, they appreciate it, and they move on with their life. So many of us hold grudges for years, for decades. Even a grudge for just a day and feeling angry, it's not worth it. There's so much we can learn from our kids, and this is something I took away immediately, was I can be a little bit more tolerant of people. I can accept apologies, let it slide off my back, and just keep pushing. And if I do feel wrong, don't hold on to it. Bring it to the attention of the person that wronged me from the very beginning. These kids can teach you a lot. They can not only teach you about yourself, they can teach you how to help raise them. So make sure you're listening and you're watching and you're paying attention and you're thinking and reflecting. And after all that, the only way anything happens is you actually got to change some stuff. That's Doc's Daily Dose for Dads. Don't forget to hashtag Doc's Daily Dose for Dads, hashtag 4D. Check out all social media at RebirthBX. Hit the website up, rebirthbx.com. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music if you can't watch the videos. Make sure to subscribe to the video. This little square box with the Renaissance man up there, that's the subscribe button. Click it. I got great stuff coming for you and even bigger things on the way. We're just getting started. I just looked at the calendar the other day. I've been doing this for 21 days straight, every single day. It's only going to get better. So stay tuned. Now I'm off to go celebrate my son's birthday party today. His birthday's tomorrow. So I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy him and the family. You have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll get back to you tomorrow, Monday morning.